Sorry about the noise. There we go. If you didn't know, a couple of videos ago I promised to cut the noises down, the old age noises of getting down, getting up when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So that's the first thing I've got to talk about. If you haven't done it yet, please do it now, and then you won't have to worry about it again, will you? So in the bottom of the screen you'll see a little button that says subscribe. There's also a little bell next to it. If you press the subscribe button and the bell next to it now, you can do it while you're watching this video. If you're watching on a PC, you can just press the green square with the S in for sardines, and then it'll come up. Once you've subscribed, you'll get notified every time we produce a brand new video. It looks like we're looking at it close to daily at the moment. They're really coming thick and fast nowadays. So once you do that, you'll get sent a notification that says Sardines has uploaded a new video, do you want to have a look? And then just press the link and you can look at the video. Otherwise, save it for later or just get rid of it, and then that's it, it's gone. So simple as that. But as soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers, I can stop making these stupid grunting noises. I know I sound like a tennis player. Actually, it's not quite the same as a tennis player, because tennis players don't grunt because of old age, even though they will one day, I expect, but maybe that'll be a different kind of grunt. They grunt because it's in their training nowadays, isn't it? When did they start doing that? When did tennis players start this whole gamesmanship thing of putting grunts into every shot they play to intimidate their opponent, to say, look, I'm putting my whole life into this shot, and so they have to expel this huge noise every time they hit a ball. They didn't used to do it, but they do it nowadays. Everyone does it now, and it's so annoying, isn't it? If only they'd stop. So, grunts, groans, whatever. 1,000 subscribers and we'll cut it down, I promise. We'll make a concerted effort to cut it down. Now, I was going to talk about something else today, but with the news that Dame Barbara Windsor has left this earth at the age of 83, she had Alzheimer's. I don't know if you can die from Alzheimer's or a related illness. Can you actually die from Alzheimer's itself? Does it? I don't know. But anyway, we'll find out. Anyway, she's left us, and that reminded me, it got me thinking of when I met my wife, actually, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But Barbara Windsor, of course, famed for the great line, "Get out of my pub!" from EastEnders, which she was best known for in her later years. But of course, in her early years, she was one of the top bills in the Carry On films. Sparrows Can't Sing, Things Ain't What They Used to Be, Lionel Bart's musical. She made, I mean, if you watch the biopic Babs, the BBC biopic Babs, you would have seen Jamie Winston play her as a young lady, Samantha Spiro reprising her Barbara Windsor masterclass as a middle-aged woman, and Barbara herself playing herself as an older person. Samantha Spiro, of course, was famous for her Barbara Windsor portrayal in Terry Johnson's Cleo Camping Emmanuel and Dick, which opened at the National Theatre in 1998. And if you can get an actress that can do the same laugh as Barbara, that very fast laugh, and have the same body shape as her, then you've got it made. ITV did a film adaptation of Cleo Camping Emmanuel and Dick called Core Blimey, in which the Kenneth Williams, the Sid James and the Barbara Windsor, they all, from the stage play at the National Theatre, all portrayed themselves. Adam Godley, Geoffrey Hutchins and Samantha Spiro all took the same parts in the film role, which is quite unusual, and all credit to them, because they were brilliant. And that's where I met my wife. At Bromley Little Theatre. some years ago now. I don't even know what year it was, but it's got to be something like 13 years ago, 14 years ago, something, I don't know, something like that. I should probably know, and I'll get in trouble for not knowing, but there we go. And believe it or not, I just done at Bromley Little Theatre the amateur theatre premiere of Frost Nixon, in which I played David Frost. Hello, good evening and welcome. In which he talked about Richard Nixon, of course, and the whole Watergate scandal. And he paid out lots of money. Anyway, blah blah blah. That's where I just finished doing that at Bromley Little Theatre. And I came out of that and I heard, or I was coming out of that and I heard that the director for Cleo, Camping, Emmanuel and Dick, which was on the very following month, they do one a month at Bromley Little Theatre except for August, was looking for a Sid James. Now, I don't mind admitting, I look nothing like Sid James. I haven't got the creased eyebrow, the bulldog look. I haven't got anything really that attributes to Sid James, but I can do the odd voice. And so I offered my services. It's so ironic, isn't it? I offered my services and got snapped up, so I ended up being cast as Sid James. And I met my wife at the read-through in the director's garden. I can picture it now. It was a summer evening. We had a read-through for Cleo, Camping, Emmanuel and Dick. I think I was still doing Frost Nixon at the time, the end of the run. And we had this read-through and I did the Sid James and I met my wife, fell in love, obviously. Love at first sight. I have to say that. Love at first sight. And there we go. The rest is history. But of course, not a great way to meet your future parents-in-law, because if you didn't know, Cleo, Camping, Emmanuel and Dick is set in Sid James's caravan. Sid James was the top bill for all of the early Carry On films. Carry On Cleo, Carry On Camping, Carry On Emmanuel and Carry On Dick, which is the 4 films throughout the Carry On life that Sid James had this caravan, and it follows the lives of Sid James, Barbara Windsor and Kenneth Williams, and how Sid James behaved with them all. And he's a bit of a womaniser, Sid James, born in South Africa, came over to England and was a star in the Carry On films. And actually today, if my wife hears, God blimey, if she hears that, I am in real trouble. I tell you, she can't stand hearing the sound of that now. But there we go. I daren't put a photo up of her because she didn't play Barbara Windsor. She played Imogen Hassel, who Sid James had a bit of a fling with. From Carry On Loving, and she was in the Carry On Loving and a couple of other films, Carry On films that she was in, and in Cleo, Camping, Emmanuel and Dick, which takes place, as I said, in Sid James's caravan that the studio purchased for him to take around the film sets. It was based at Pinewood Film Studios, but when they did location filming, like for instance Carry On Camping, where, for instance, they had to spray the grass green because it was all muddy. They didn't bother with too many weather locations at Pinewood. But there we are. They brought him in his caravan, and Sid James used to work his way through the female cast members of many of these Carry On films, and Imogen Hassel was one of his captures, let's call it. And so the scene starts off with the caravan rocking. You can understand why. And then they appear from his boudoir, his caravan bedroom, and he's in these 1960s underpants and a vest. So what a great way to meet your future parents-in-law, to have your future fiancée in her underwear or a towel and me in my underwear. So that's why I cannot show you. My wife's a teacher, so for sheer appropriateness, I cannot flash up a photograph of her in her underwear or towel, I'm afraid. But that's where I met her, blah, blah, blah. And the rest is history. But we found a fantastic Barbara Windsor at Bromley Little Theatre. Her name was Katie Galt, I think. And she had the laugh off to a T. It was fantastic as Barbara Windsor. And she really made that role her own. But fantastic. But yeah, Barbara Windsor, it's very sad that she's gone now. But she had, as they say, a pretty good innings. 83 is not a bad age to reach. I know her husband Scott, who was a lot younger than her, he must be in his 40s or 50s now, I suppose. He's just announced that the fact that she's passed away. And there we go. But that's it for now. More on amateur theatre tomorrow. By the way, Barbara Windsor was on one of our covers when one of her close friends, Yvonne Janssen, who used to be the marketing, PR, publicity person at Mount View Theatre School in London. She is very good friends, or was very good friends with Barbara Windsor. She'll be mortified actually today. So I must send her an email, a message. And she wrote a very nice piece for us in one of our previous issues. We'll put the details up, but you can have a look at that. If you're a digital subscriber, you can have a look at that, download the PDF, print it off, read the cover story about Barbara Windsor that Yvonne wrote, and there you go. But to be a digital subscriber, you've got to go to the website, the link's below this video, go to the website, register, subscribe to the magazine. It's only £7.50 for 6 months, for goodness sake. It's £12 if you want to do a whole year. That's £1 a month. Gets you digital access to every single digital issue we've ever published. You can download every single PDF from all 50 issues if you want to. I think Barbara Windsor was somewhere around, it was between 10 and 15. So it was quite early on in our thingy. And you can also have a look at, I think it might have been issue 10. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that, but we'll put some photos up as well of how I had my makeup done to make me look more like Sid James. I'll tell you, this is a little tip for all you societies out there. If you're looking for a bit of a transformation, which I needed for Sid James, I mean, if you've got the voice but you need physical transformation, we put an advert on Mandy.com where a lot of training makeup artists and wig specialists are they're registered on there, they're listed on the site. I think Mandy.com bought out Casting Call Pro, so it's quite big now. But Mandy.com, we put a thing, and we were inundated with replies from students that were training in makeup that were there to they said, yeah, we'd love to, we said it wouldn't be paid, it wasn't a paid job, but it will give you experience and we can provide you with photographs of your work. And so we took before and after photos and throughout the process of me transforming, and we'll put those up, and we did a thing in Sardines on it actually, so we'll put those up as well. And again, digital subscribers, you can have a look at that issue and read it, download the PDF, look at that article at your leisure when you've got more time, and go from there. But we had a fantastic makeup girl, Isabel I think her name was, and went from there. But there's a little tip and a little bit of trivia for you. The wig I wore as Sid James, I think it was the young Sid James. We had 2 wigs in Cleo Camping, Emmanuel and Dick. There's a young Sid James when he's doing Carry On Cleo, Carry On Camping, and there's an older Sid James for his last Carry On films, Emmanuel and Dick, Carry On Dick. Thank you, you don't need to make your own jokes up for that. Julian Clare is doing, or he might be doing enough. We'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah, the wig I wore for the young Sid James was incidentally the very same wig that was worn by Richard Nixon in the Donmar Warehouse's Frost Nixon. And I've just played David Frost in the amateur premiere. I didn't play Richard Nixon, so I didn't wear the wig or anything like that. We had a fantastic Richard Nixon. But just a bit of trivia, the wig I wore in as Sid James was the wig that Frank Langella wore as David Nixon at the Donmar Warehouse. So it was the same wig, it was real hair wig, and that was probably the biggest outlay that we had to fork out for at Bromley Little Theatre, was that wig hire each week. But there we go. So make your own money. Yeah, I just mentioned Julian Clary and the Carry On Dick jokes and Dick Whittington jokes, because if London goes into Tier 3 on Wednesday, I imagine the whole thing will be off. There's no professional theatre, no amateur theatre throughout London. It won't be if we go into Tier 3. I think if it gets announced Wednesday that we're going into Tier 3, it'll come into play on Friday, or Friday evening, or midnight Friday, I don't know when. So, yeah, fingers crossed we don't, but if we were anywhere else in the country, we'd be put into Tier 3 just like that. So, with my theatre hat on, I say please don't let us go into Tier 3, but with my North-South divide hat on, London has to go into Tier 3 because it's a real infection hotspot. And Leicester was put into Tier 3, Manchester was put into Tier 3, just like that, on the blink of an eye. And Kent's in Tier 3, which is right next to London at the moment. So, I don't know, we'll just have to see what happens, won't we? But there we are. Subscribe to the magazine. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't pressed it during the video, press it now. Just press the subscribe button, that would be fantastic. And that would be done then. I can stop talking about that. We get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll stop making noises when I get up and when I get down. But that's it apart from now. Stay safe, stay well. We will be back, and so will we, perhaps Monday. Not sure when the next video will be up. If we've got time, we'll do one tomorrow. But I'm not sure. See you later. Bye-bye.